8:18 in the morning. We're unlocking the phone lines. Let's take the ninth call. The ninth call. Can you identify the $100 headline and qualify for the $50,000 great giveaway? The ninth caller right now on the $100 headline hotline gets the chance to win. Let's go to the Western Exterminator hotline. Joining us on the Newsmaker line, San Diego State, ready to play Friday night football, the open conference play against Nevada Reno. Rocky Long, regular with us here, talk to the Aztecs. Hey, Rock, good morning. Is a Friday night game, a shorter work week, a bit of a problem, or are we imagining too much?
Good morning. Yeah, it presents a problem. It doesn't present as big a problem as next week will when we play on a Thursday night. So you're 1 day short of practice, so you spend less time beating on each other, and you spend a lot more time mentally watching film and walking through things. So what happens is usually you're a little fundamentally you're not quite as sound, but hopefully assignment-wise you're sound.
Kurt?
Rocky, good morning. Kurt Bavacqua here.
Morning, Kurt.
All of a sudden, I get besieged by Aztec people every weekend. You guys play home games now. They come in from out of town and stay at my house because my wife's best girlfriend in high school has a son who's a redshirted freshman on the team. So all of a sudden, I've become an Aztec fan. Both my kids were at the game last week. They come home with Aztec hats. The huge emotional downfall of you losing Jake Feely, how big is that?
Well, it's yet to be seen. Hopefully it's not that big a deal, but obviously he's a great player for us. He's one of the best defensive players in the league. He's the best in my opinion, the best defensive player on our team. He also brings in emotional energy because he plays with so much emotion and plays so hard. We've got pretty good athletes behind him that will take over for him, and as you know, in all sports, when somebody goes down, someone has to step up and take his spot in order for you to have a chance to win.
Rocky, it's kind of doubly complicated because his running mate, the other linebacker, Derek Largent's been on and off the field with complications from knee surgery, and he's a critical piece of the equation too.
He is, and the positive is that he's getting better. He went through last week's game, doesn't look like his normal self in last week's game, but he got through the whole game without re-injuring his knee. He's looked better in practice this week, and we expect him to start playing like he did last year.
Coach, have you seen the effects of the new targeting rule yet?
I have. It's happened to us probably a little bit because you get called for roughing the passer a lot easier than you used to. It wasn't called targeting where you get kicked out of the game, but we had a player that sacked the quarterback around the waist in last week's game. It wasn't flagged by the official, but we got a letter from the league office that he led with the crown of his helmet, and if it would have been called a penalty, he would have been kicked out of the game and missed the next game. I see it on TV all the time. I think the officials will settle down eventually and call what targeting is really, instead of now they're being overprotective, in my opinion, and calling everything that's a hard hit.
Rocky Long talked to the Aztecs as they get ready to host Nevada Friday night football at the stadium. And, of course, it's Black Hat Night, so you want to be there for that. Hey, Rocky, a couple of other questions about your players. Let's talk for a second about Nevada Reno. Cody Fajardo runs this pistol. This is a great dual-purpose quarterback. Where does he put the most stress on your defense?
Mostly because he's able to run with the ball and get out of trouble. If he was just a thrower and sat in the pocket, you'd have a pressure package where you could get to him, but now you have to be contain conscious where you keep him in the pocket when he wants to throw. And then the pistol part of it is that he's an option quarterback, too. He reads the end man on the line of scrimmage, gives it to the running back, or keeps it himself. He's what you're starting to see in the NFL. RG3, those kind of guys, you're starting to see them in the NFL. You see him a lot more in college, and he's right in that class.
Coach, Nevada's a good football team. Do you have to keep their defense on the field?
I'd like to keep their defense on the field because we play darn good defense when we're sitting on the bench watching our offense keep the ball. And if our offense is keeping the ball, they're usually gaining yards and maybe scoring some points. So, yeah, I'd love to have their defense out there rather than their offense.
Let me ask you about the running back. Donnell Pumphrey, the freshman, had a phenomenal breakout game. And Adam Moema's been dinged up and hasn't been quite the same player. Did Pumphrey excite you? Did you expect that kind of productivity, 167 yards rushing last week at New Mexico State?
We didn't, but that's partly what New Mexico State did. They stacked the box so we couldn't run the ball inside. Adam Moema is a great inside runner. I think he's getting better. He looked better last week than he has up until that time. We expect a breakout game out of him pretty soon. But what they did was stack the box, and we adjusted at halftime and did a much better job of blocking for the perimeter run. And DJ Pumphrey has great speed and quickness. Now, he's a little guy, but he's got great speed and quickness, so if he gets on the edge, he can make somebody miss, and he can outrun a bunch of them.
Has the biggest disappointment been the inconsistency of the ball club so far, Coach, or do you think you've overcome that the last game?
I don't think we have. I think that is our biggest problem, and I don't know the reason why. Or I'd try to. I'm trying to fix it now, but we haven't fixed it yet. We play really good football at times, but we don't really play good football for the whole entire game, or we haven't yet. And hopefully this week we will. That comes with some young guys that we're playing. It comes with some inconsistency with fundamentals, but we haven't hit the right point with them yet because we haven't done it for an entire game.
One other question off the field, Rocky, and I know your schedule's really busy, but were you stunned that two schools fired coaches this early in the season? Lane Kiffin gone at USC and Paul Pasqualoni out at UConn?
I don't know if I was stunned. I'm very, very surprised. We're starting to lose the concept of coaching in high school. We're starting to lose the concept of coaching in college. Now, I know we get paid really, really well, and we're held accountable, which is the way it should be, but we're at a level that's not professional football, and firing a coach is fine, but right in the middle of the season, I think that's an overreaction to pressure from boosters. It's an overreaction from pressure from the fans. I think we're totally losing what coaching is in high school and coaching is in college.
All right, Friday Night Football, what's the key to the game?
Well, the key to the game is that we have to be as intense and ready to go as we do on a Saturday, but now they do too. And I hope there's a lot of people there because I think it's going to be a really fun and exciting game like last year's game was. I feel bad about playing on Friday, so because I think that's high school football night.
Good stuff. Rock, enjoy it. Let's just make it an easy game, 45-41.
I'll take it if we got the 45.
Rock, thanks for being with us. Talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.